So we're here at Sandy Jorgensen's studio. She's made these lovely hearts and painted them. We'll ask her how she made them. But let's see what else she's got. Oh, she has...
That's your studio too.
She has miniature clay figurines that she made. And then here's our aura pictures. These are some suns to hang on your wall. Let's see what she's up to. Hey Sandy Jorgensen, what are you doing?
Hello, Anna. I'm gonna work on this. It's made out of paper mache. It's a mixture of toilet paper, drywall compound, glue, and a little bit of linseed oil, 2 tablespoons.
Okay.
And like a little handful of flour. It's such a mess. But it's fun. And I call this poor man's pottery.
That's great.
Because look at this. I mean, it's really hard, when after it dries. It takes a while for it to dry. In fact, with this clay recipe, I have to strengthen it with, after it dries, I put drywall over it. This is different. This was, you remember the day we went to the park?
Yes.
And somebody had a birthday party, and they left all these Chinese lanterns hanging, and they were so beautiful. So I cut them down, and we brought these home. And then we took a million of these newspaper strips, and what you do is I got a bowl of water with flour, and then you kind of mix it up with the fork, and then like the consistency of pancake batter. And we just painstakingly, you dip it into the batter, and then just I would fold it in half like this many times, and it sticks, and then leave it under a vent for it to dry overnight. So this took probably maybe a week longer. No, I'm going to say 2 weeks to 3 weeks, but say I haven't painted the bottom. And then when I was finally tired with that, and it was really, it's got to be really dry so it doesn't mold. Then I put the drywall over it in layers until, to really get it thick.
Okay.
And do you want to know what I'm going to do with it?
Yeah, what are you going to do with it?
Okay. I'm not for sure yet, but it's always a work in progress. But I have these stencils. We work with these all the time, and you do them with your artwork, Hannah. But, this was such a quick video, so I'm not real prepared, but what I'll do is this is one that I made, so it's one of a kind, and then I'll tape that over it, but I take more of the drywall compound, and I'm going to trowel it on, and it's a little bit tricky, but it's not impossible, and then lift it up, and so it's going to look like kind of a mess, but it'll be raised, like 3D. And then after that dries completely, I can kind of soften it up with a wet rag and then paint over it. And then when that's complete, I'm going to have, we're going to drill holes, like in a pattern somehow. I don't know yet if I'm going to do it around here so that Christmas lights can be, put in here. And also we're going to have to drill a big hole here so that the plug can come out. And then my intention for this is going to be all the lights are, shining out, and then I'll have a glass cylinder in the center with I want big roses for Christmas mixed in with greenery, and put that somewhere in like a corner for like a nightlight, big nightlight. But I just love calling this poor man's pottery. And I don't know what this is going to be, but hello. Probably the same thing. I'd like to have more 3D raised stencils and hand painting, like, something simple, not real crazy, but...
Can you hold that up one more time?
Which one? This?
Yeah. Let me see.
It's a peacock.
Oh.
I have my reasons for stuff. Like this one is to the colors of the chakras. And...
Can you put your pottery down? There you go.
There is, if in meditation... if you stare at this little dot, and then I will put a black dot in the center of that, but if you stare at it, it trains the mind to focus. And I don't know, they're called yantras. And that's one, and then this other one, you embed the mirrors in them when the clay is soft and squishy. And see, this is what it looks like before can you see that in the light?
Bring it over here. There we go. Yeah.
It looks almost like stone. But it's not as heavy. It's a little bit more, it's not as durable. This one is a little because I thickened the back with more drywall by hand. And this is different. I really added a lot because I wanted it to be really substantial. And then I got carried away and I forgot to put the holes in the beads, but you know, what the heck. The kids come over and they love it and they use this for, you know, just for additions, like to glue on stuff, but that's just newspaper wadded up with the flour, you know, and these are suns. One's a sun, one's a star, and it's made out of the same exact stuff, newspaper. I'm telling you, newspaper and flour, and this is probably why I will never eat pancakes ever again. Because look at that, I gotta kill somebody, hit him on the head for that.
That's right.
That's hard, it's rocking. What my intention is that I'd like to put a mirror in the center of that.
Okay.
And you know, this will probably go in one of.
And what did you put around the circle part?
Which are, this?
Center, yes.
These are glass tiles that I just purchased at Michael's.
Okay.
And you know, even the little tiny mirrors, I got these at Michael's too, along with these little, you know, those little thingies.
And so did you make these indentions in this heart with mirrors?
No, this was with these little tiles. And I put them at an angle. And, you know, I was going to glue them back in, but then I kind of liked the design, and I decided to just hand paint them instead. It was all different. But what happens to me is I try to do this for a show, and then my friends come over, and I end up giving them as gifts. So, but it is a very affordable gift. If you're, you know, kind of tight on the budget right now, because it's newspaper and drywall.
Yeah.
Well, this was in toilet paper. Very inexpensive. Lots of fun to make. And this is my star. And I wasn't real happy. You know, when you're an artist, you have the idea stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And so you just want to do it. And I should have waited to get the mirror. I wanted to have a beveled mirror. And it'll be cleaned up once because I was experimenting. But this mirror is too little, and I've already glued it on with Bond glue that sticks a dog to a bus. I mean, not for real, but see, it's good glue. But so I don't know what else to show you. This is what I've been working on.
That's great.
Too many things at once, and let me see. I think. Oh, that's very old. That's a very old.
You painted that.
Yes, this is a floor mat, and they're meant to walk on. But you know, it's not recommended to put on a carpet. So, like a tiled floor or a hardwood floor. And there you go. That's it. That's
awesome. Well, thank you for showing us around.